Now let's talk about the knocking on the door sales appointment approach. This can be hard and intimidating, but if you can get in there and start gaining credibility with home sellers face to face, it's very, very powerful. Here's the thing. I've talked to many agents who are doing this, and they say about 90% or more invite them into the home. So they're showing up at the home. Again, they're knocking on the door. They're showing that they're a boots on the ground agent who's active in the area. They're not just sitting behind their computer waiting for a phone call. This also is really powerful because you can get in touch with home sellers that maybe aren't answering their phone or returning phone calls from agents. Many times I've done this, can't get a hold of a home seller. I'm in the neighborhood, I think I'll just stop by. I stop by, end up a conversation, and many times I've walked out with a listing agreement signed. And they all say about the same thing. I'm so glad you stopped by. I was getting frustrated. I'm getting bombarded by all these agents. I don't know who to pick. And so I just kind of did nothing. But when you showed up, I liked what you had to say. I liked your approach, and I listed with you. So if you're knocking on doors, if you're out there being proactive, it can be very lucrative. Now, here's what I would say. If you're going to knock on doors, FSBOs are pretty safe. Their information's online, they're selling their home. But here's a couple pointers. When you knock on the door, don't be up right in the door. It's too impersonal. You're right in their face. It's overpowering. Especially if you're a woman, you're probably if you're anybody, you're going to want to step back and give that space for safety reasons as well, but to feel more comfortable when the home seller opens the door. I don't like opening my door to someone and having their face right here. It's just too much in my personal space, and it can be very intimidating. Knock on the door, smile, step back, have a name tag on, have some information in your hand, and so if they do invite you in, again, you have what you need. You've done your research. Let me share this short video from Rick where he really breaks down how he does this.
Hi, I'm Rick. I'm with Brokers Guild. Is it okay if I come in? I immediately identify myself as an agent. Is it okay if I just come in and look around? And 99% of the time, they're very friendly. They'll smile and say, absolutely, Rick, come on in and look around. And that's how I approach them.
Wow. And once you go into an open house, you have your friendly approach, you identify yourself, you look at the home. Do you follow up pretty frequently after that, or get permission to follow up?
Well, one of the things that's key is before you go to the open house, there's preparation. I don't go into that open house without all the sales activity, trying to do a little research on the neighborhood, knowing what's going on in the neighborhood. Most of the time, for sale by owners, are very good at embellishing their own home, so you read what they've done to the home. So I've got some information, and I actually, if there's not a buyer in the home at the time that I'm in there, I try to spend some time and ask some leading questions. Okay, and my one is I like to use is I'm just curious. I'm just curious, why are you selling by yourself? Did you have a bad experience with a broker? Actually, there are basic reasons most for sell by owners will give you. We've done this before. That's very common. We've done this before and it worked. We've had a bad experience with a broker or brokers. We can't afford to pay a commission. We're having a home built and we're not in a hurry. Those are the ones. We're not in a hurry. We've had a bad experience. We've done this before and we can't afford to pay. 9 times out of 10, for sell by owner, usually will give you one of those 4 reasons for selling on their own. And so what you need to do is develop the dialogue to talk to those people and say, okay, let me see if there's something that we can work out and make this beneficial for both of us.
As you see what Rick had to say, do your research, know your stuff, let them embellish their home. Ask leading questions, be curious. That is a really powerful thing to remember no matter what you sell. Ask questions and be curious. Hey, I'm curious. Why did you choose to sell on your own? I'm curious, how did you choose your selling price? Listen, and then shut up and listen to their things they have to say. They're going to tell you objections, they're going to tell you reasons, and you'll be able to identify pain points that you maybe wouldn't get over the phone. When you're in the house, you maybe worked your way to the dining room table. You got a cup of water, it's the afternoon, they don't have much to do. Sit down, side to side, don't be intimidating. I would never recommend standing up and talking down at them, even in a presentation. I always like to sit side by side with them. Be relaxed. Don't be uptight. And one way to relax yourself is to be cool with walking out without the listing appointment. That way you can be more in tune with what they have to say, and you can strategically schedule your call to actions. If I had a buyer, could it sell the house in 30 days? Would you be interested in listing with me? If I can bring you a buyer, get your home sold with the more money or the same net that you would get selling it on your own, would you be interested? Now, if you jump right into that, they're probably going to be no, because that's what they're telling all the other agents that are jumping the gun. But if you're in there, you've built trust and rapport, you're sitting at the dining room table, you've previewed the home, and just an hour ago, you were knocking on the door. All this trust and rapport built. If you feel like you have an opportunity to get the listing, don't be afraid to ask, but do it in a way where you're not being so aggressive where they're just going to shut you down like they did the other 30, 40, 50 agents who've contacted them. This is a great way. Knock on the door. You're going to get a hold of home sellers that other agents can't get a hold of or aren't returning the call. It's going to show you're a boots on the ground type of agent, that you're active in the community, you've done your homework, you know about Mary's house that sold, the Adams house that didn't sell because it was overpriced. Again, you're getting this quality face-to-face time. This is a great way where you can go from a nobody to an expert they want to list with.